Hello everyone, Stucker here, and welcome back to the History of Everything podcast YouTube channel. This is a rather interesting thing for me to be doing right now. I'm sure that you can probably already tell from the title of this video, but this is going to be a reaction and a breakdown of Netflix's Cleopatra new documentary thing. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me explain. Netflix is releasing a whole new documentary that focuses on Cleopatra, with Cleopatra being depicted as a African queen. African in this case being of black ancestry. This whole thing is the project of Jada Pinkett Smith, the wife of Will Smith, and it's not exactly something that has gone over well on the internet. I mean, some of the greatest backlash out of this entire thing has come out of Egypt itself, in which people are pretty annoyed by this entire thing, as it's just another case, it seems, of Netflix revisionism when it comes to history. But is it really as bad or as controversial as what people are saying? Well, let's get into it and let's see. Here is the trailer, and yeah, you can see that comments have been turned off on it, but also Netflix removed the whole thing for dislikes. I think we can fix that real quick. There we go. We just added back the ability to view dislikes. And whoa. Okay, yeah. This is definitely not something that has gone over well with people. But let's go ahead and check this thing out.
There was a time long ago when women ruled with unparalleled power.
Okay, well, I mean, if we're talking about things from the very beginning and women ruling with unparalleled power, there are cases in history, of course, from the beginning of time in which women did rule things, but very often than not, it was not women that were ruling, especially not with unparalleled power. There are very few cases of women ruling as absolute monarchs in history. The ones that did get there were generally fairly effective, as they were pretty ruthless and intelligent in order to get there, of which Cleopatra historically is one of the ones who was brilliant.
As warriors, queen.
Also, wait, hold on. Wait, no, hold on. Cleopatra is a sword. I think she was more known for her tongue versus, say, her actual sword fighting skills. Why depict her as a warrior? Like, yeah, she fought for Egypt. She fought for Egyptian independence. Like, that was the idea. She did anything she could to strengthen the Egyptian state. But this is a little on the nose.
As warriors, queens, mothers of nations.
Yep, no, she was indeed a mother. Mother to children by 3 different dudes, all here to try and control things.
Then Cleopatra.
I would die for Egypt.
Die for Egypt.
What would you die?
Well, she does die for Egypt. And actually, if you're talking about in terms of how far she would go for a nation, she definitely is the person that would go all the way.
Die for? I am Isis. I am a god.
As long as she's alive, she is the pharaoh.
My father.
This is true. The warrior aspect that it shows in the beginning is still kind of weird, but the stubbornness that they're displaying of Cleopatra right now is absolutely true. Cleopatra was an individual that would do anything possible to maintain power. But it wasn't just power for the sake of holding power, it was power because she wanted an independent, strong, and powerful Egypt.
Mother's will names me co-ruler of Egypt.
Yeah, it named her co-ruler of Egypt because also in Egypt at this time, what they talked about in the beginning from women ruled with unparalleled power, yeah, that wasn't exactly supposed to happen because while she was co-ruler, the other ruler was her brother, who she married. Yeah. The Ptolemaic dynasty that Cleopatra was a part of was very, very keen on the whole incest thing. The idea, of course, being that the Egyptian pharaohs were descended directly from the gods, and so they needed to keep their royal blood pure because it wasn't just royal, it was divine. And really, it's things like that that just means that this depiction of her as being black is very, 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 very unlikely. I mean, I don't think I can stress the sheer amount of unlikely that this is. The Ptolemaic dynasty was Greek, specifically Macedonian, which if you're going to be looking at Macedonians here, this is definitely not something that I would anticipate Netflix depicting accurately here. And then you're going to have people that are going to turn around and say, okay, well, there's a possibility that there was other blood mixed in there, so she probably had a bit of a different skin tone. And while indeed this is possible, mind you, it is exceptionally unlikely. As if you go and look in when you go and look at the Ptolemaic dynasty and you look at all the different relations between the rulers, you have a tendency to notice that there was a lot of brother-sister relations. We're talking from Ptolemy the First going all the way down to Ptolemy the 13th and 14th. These two brothers, who were the brothers of Cleopatra the 7th, which that is the Cleopatra that we're talking about here. She was their sister and also wife, respectively, one after the other. She married not just one brother, but both brothers. If you notice things on here, this ancestor, sister and wife. This ancestor, sister and wife. This ancestor, sister and wife. It's a continuous line of incest going all the way back. Ptolemy II, the literal second person after the first founder of the dynasty, Ptolemy I, was quite literally known as the sister lover or sister loving. Mind you, Cleopatra VII's grandmother was a concubine, so there's a possibility of it being a little bit different, but the likelihood of it being someone who, especially after the course of 2 additional generations of interbreeding between siblings, would look like this is insultingly low.
Julius Caesar is aware that Cleopatra is one of the best educated women in the Mediterranean.
He wants
This is
to be
true.
king to Cleopatra's queen.
He wants to be king to Cleopatra's queen. Not exactly. No. He was fine with being her lover. He was fine with, say, his child that he ended up having with her, Caesarion, for him being the ruler of Egypt. That was something that he did particularly like the idea of, but simultaneously, he didn't want to be the king of Egypt. No, it was always about Rome. Caesar wanted to save the Republic, just a republic that was going to be under the control of him. He was dictator, but he didn't want to necessarily be king. That was a very bad idea for Rome at the time. But he definitely did not want to be just the ruler of Egypt, the king of it.
There's no future without the past.
She was using these relationships with Mark Antony to protect herself and her country.
This is all very true.
There is
She
no
did that.
Rome without Egypt.
There is no no. That is not the case at all. There is no Rome without Egypt. Are you kidding me? By the time of the later Roman Empire, when Egypt was a fully integrated province of the empire, it was actually something that was fairly dependent upon Egypt. Egypt was by far the largest single provincial producer of grain in the entire empire. And so the reason why Rome was able to fuel so many of its games and provide food for its people for free, specifically because so much of that grain came from Egypt itself. That, and in the form of trade, Egypt was easily one of the most valuable provinces in the entire empire. This is true, but to say that there is no Rome without Egypt at this time, like, yes, you could say that Cleopatra is being standoffish and, asserting her own authority and power, sure, but that's just arrogance and inaccurate that no one would actually buy into. That doesn't make sense. Especially since at this time in its history, Egypt was pretty much a failed state. Its economy was in shambles, its politics was broken. Cleopatra was in the middle of all this, trying to put it back together and to salvage the country. It's one of the key reasons why she would use Mark Antony as well as Caesar and any other person that she could in order to strengthen her own position.
Cleopatra was trying to save the country that she loved from destruction.
This is true. She absolutely was.
I did what I had to do to protect what is mine.
And she did that a lot. This is true.
Exercising power.
Cleopatra was a Ptolemaic ruler. The
Yes, she
very
was.
first Ptolemy is a general of Alexander.
She
the Great.
was a Ptolemaic ruler.
I'm
Wait, no. You mean it was possible that she was an Egyptian? No. It is possible that she had a small amount of Egyptian ancestry. And even then, Egypt, from all genealogical record that we've been able to find, was a very mixed society that had sub-Saharan Africans, as well as Semitic Eastern people, and North African. There were a few points in history where Egypt was controlled by sub-Saharan dynasties. That is true. But Cleopatra was definitely not Egyptian.
Imagine her to have curly hair like me and a similar skin color.
I remember
Possibly a
my
little bit?
grandmother saying to me, I don't care what they tell you in school, Cleopatra was black.
Whoa. Okay, wait. Now I can see right here where a lot of the controversy in this is kind of coming from, because that is, wow, Netflix? A documentary, huh? Good to know that you're using the fantastic historical examples of what ifs and some lady's grandmother. This has genuinely got to be one of the most insulting things that I've ever heard in regards to scholarship. It just lacks common sense.
Cleopatra was black.
She has become an icon.
I am a god. Queen of kings.
Her story resonates with every woman.
Guys, I will say this here at the end. Looking at this trailer, the depictions of what it has of Cleopatra and her personality through a number of this are good. They're strong. But there are simply too many moments in this trailer that I could really only describe as Afrocentric girl boss energy. And if that sounds weird, over the course of doing the research specifically for this video, I looked into the background and Jada Pinkett Smith, who is one of the producers that is making this thing in the first place. She had explained, I really wanted to represent black women. We don't often get to see or hear their stories about black queens, and that was really important for me. Which, okay, but that doesn't apply to Cleopatra. then. The sad part is that we don't really have access to these historical women who were so powerful and were the backbones of African nations. The notion that Cleopatra was black has been proposed by a number of Afrocentric scholars, although the theory has been largely dismissed in academia. And there is a reason for that. I mean, we already covered in this video the Ptolemaic dynasty and the sheer amount of inbreeding from this Greek heritage that she would have. The point that these Afrocentrist scholars try to use is that they don't 100% know that her mother was actually her mother, though it is likely, but that specifically her grandmother is unknown. If you want to do the math on this, theoretically with Cleopatra, we may not know about half of her ancestry. So in the end, is there a possibility that she actually had more African descent? Possibly, but the likelihood of that in comparison to the other explanations is so significantly lower that the depictions when Netflix and people do stuff like this is just insulting, as it's a very clear revisionist push. At least that is my take on things, but I'm going to ask you now to like and comment on this video. Let me know in the comment section below what it is that you think, because I really am curious about what people are thinking about this. Yeah, the controversy is obviously there on the internet, but what do you, my viewers, actually think of this? Let me know below. Thank you very much for watching, and if there's anything else that you would like me to analyze and break down, then please do so. I really do enjoy making content for you all, and I thank each and every one of you for sticking with me. Goodbye, everyone, and have a good rest of your day.